Hey everyone, it's Ian from the Cognitive Cow, and welcome back to Tales from the Closet. It's in the closet, and I'm telling you tales. So, I'm not gonna waste all your time with a recap or anything. You should go watch the last 5 chapters of this story, but let me give you the rundown. This is an alternate timeline where Abraham doesn't sacrifice Isaac, and Jesus comes back in time and tells him that the God that told him to sacrifice him wasn't the real God. It was Trump's God. It was this really, really bad imposter God. And now this far in the story, they've gone forward in time. They've stopped the Council of Nicaea. They've met Chuck Wu, the indigenous... I forgot what country that's from. But he was an indigenous god that the Europeans colonized. So he's joined the party. They're like... Why am I doing this? I said I wouldn't bog you down with a recap. So go watch those stories or you won't know what's going on right here. But where we left off, the imposter god was falling down this abyss, and he pulled out a scythe and tore open a hole in the abyss, and that led him to Dante's Inferno, like this fake hell thing that isn't actually in the Bible, that Dante just made up. But anyway, and he meets because Satan doesn't actually look like this red thing with horns, but he does meet the red thing with horns, but he's a scapegoat, and he's not actually the real devil. He's what Christians blame things on when they do stuff they're not supposed to. But anyway, he meets him in Dante's Inferno, and that's where we pick off from the previous chapter, which you should go watch so you'll know what's going on in this video. Got it? Let's begin. Chapter 6, The Scapegoat. Ha 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 ha! God, my man! The scapegoat devil hugged the imposter god like an old bro. What's up? The imposter god chuckled and said, sorry, it's a long fucking story. How's the project coming along? Actually, that's what I came to get your help with. There's been a slight complication with Abraham. Did he rebel when you told him to kill his son? Damn it, God, I told you that wasn't going to work. I did that because I need a very specific type of people to accomplish my will and build my empire. I need psychopaths, radicals, sycophants, people with no functioning moral compass whatsoever who are willing to kill for this cause. I only showed you one possible timeline in which that happens, and yours isn't it. Then we need to go back to the time-space continuum and fix this now. Are you crazy? We're not allowed to go in there. Too late! Ah! The imposter god grabbed the scapegoat devil and dove upward through the hole in the abyss, crashing through the floor of the space-time continuum like a missile. Oh, God! The scapegoat devil groaned. What have you done? So, again, this is Trump's god. He wants psychopaths, radicals, and sycophants to accomplish his will and build his empire, and that's why he wanted Abraham to kill his son, because good gods don't tell you to murder people for no reason. So the explanation that I'm using is that it's not the real God. Just so we're clear. Meanwhile, Yeshua and the 410, that is, 200 or so of Abraham's servants, which he technically freed, but they continued following him for this adventure. And then there's the 300 priests from the Council of Nicaea. They came along too. So in total there's 410. Because some of them died. Meanwhile, Yeshua and the 410 landed their ships at a small island through which was the portal to Sheol, the place Jews believe they go when they die according to the Torah. Because Jews don't have heaven and hell, they just have one place where everyone, whether you're good or bad, goes when they die. And that's Sheol. So they're at Sheol. This is our stop, he said. Everyone into the portal. Everyone got out of the boats and went inside. What is this place? Reiner asked. Isn't this that place you were talking about? Lucere asked. Lot's daughters don't have names, so we just named them Lucere and Reiner. Anyway, It is, Lot recalled. This is where Edith! Lot took off running toward his wife Edith and embraced her. Is this her? Hagar asked. You must be Lot's new wife, Edith prefaced. I'm the wife that got turned into a pile of salt for no reason. Nice to meet you. They shook hands. Thanks, said Hagar, but I'm not his wife. I'm Abraham's mistress. Okay, before all of that drama starts, because I wrote a big, huge drama scene, for those of you who haven't read the actual Bible story, Lot's wife, Edith, got turned into a pile of salt for no reason while they were running from the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. She didn't do anything wrong. She just turned around and turned into a pile of salt. But again, that's a bad God. We don't like that one because that's Trump's God, and Trump's God isn't good. So don't vote for him because he'll do psychopathic stuff that the Old Testament wants you to do, like kill gays and stuff. But anyway, on to the drama. Mistress, Shara shouted and smacked Abraham. She's not my mistress, Abraham whined. Oh, don't she's not my mistress me. You wanted a baby at 100 years old, so your wife of 25 years wasn't fucking good enough. No, it's not that, Abraham explained. It's just what? Sarah interrupted. You miss when I was younger and could have kids, don't you, right? Is that all you think about is just sex, Abraham? Huh? Is that why you married me? Sarah, Abraham interjected. You know what the culture was back in Ur. Yeah, she replied, and we should have stayed in to raise our child instead of taking him out in the middle of nowhere to be killed by a psychopathic god and then forced to do the bidding of another god. That remark caught Yeshua's attention, but he was talking to someone else, so he didn't respond right away. Because you were greedy, and you wanted kids, and you wanted to outnumber the sand, and you wanted to drop. Shut it! Abraham had lost his patience. Hey, Lucere exclaimed, you don't talk to your wife like that. Big talk from your daddy's wife, Abraham scoffed. What? Hagar exclaimed. And before we get any deeper into the drama, after I already forgot her name. After Edith died, Lot slept with his daughters. And so his wife is not going to be happy about that. I'm just going to say that right now. Spoiler alert. Where was I? "What, you slept with our daughters?" Edith inquired. "I was passed out drunk," Lot insisted. "Oh yeah," Edith scoffed, "like you were passed out back in Sodom when he fucked that—" "That's enough!" Yeshua shouted. When the whole group was silent, he continued, "You think I wanted any of this? For you, for your children, for my church, none of you have to be here. We can go straight back to the time-space continuum, and I can take you straight back to Mount Moriah, and you can raise your kids in Canaan and pretend this never happened." He paused to take a breath and continued, "But whoever cares about the fate of humanity, whoever doesn't want your descendants to be enslaved, raped, and murdered by old white men," which is exactly what Abraham's descendants did in the actual canon timeline that we live in, he drew a line in the sand on the ground and said, "Come with me." After a few seconds of silence, the 410 started crossing the line to Yeshua's side. Lucre crossed, Reiner crossed, Lot crossed, Edith crossed, but when Isaac crossed, Sarah said, "You're crazy." Isaac replied, "Crazy is exactly what this filthy, rotten, disgusting world needs for its crimes." Sarah watched as her entire family crossed the line, and when she was the only one, Abraham held out his hand to her, and after a moment of hesitation, she too crossed the line. It's a decision we all have to make. It's not an easy one, but we can all choose to be better people and follow the better God. The better God being the one that doesn't tell you to murder people for no reason, just because they're different. Meanwhile, in the space-time continuum, the imposter god and the scapegoat devil were killing security guards on their quest to find the timeline that Abraham and his family came from. "Right there," the imposter god announced, 1826 BC. That was the year when Abraham sacrificed Isaac. Fun fact. He flung the door open and continued, "Now get inside before we—" A security guard shot him in the armpit, and in rage, the scapegoat devil shot fire out of his pitchfork and vaporized the guard. "Let's go!" They escaped through the door and into 1826 BC, where the excavation team had finished digging up the door. "Did you get him?" a fake angel asked. "No," the imposter god replied, "but I got someone who can." "A pleasure to meet you all," the scapegoat devil announced. "A legion of liberals is on the loose throughout history trying to stop our rise to power, and we're going to need everything we can possibly muster to hunt them down. Specifically," the imposter god added, "we need the Ark, and we need to transform it into a military vessel." "We'll get straight to it," said the fake archangel. And they marched on to Mount Ararat in modern-day Turkey to get the Ark. And that is still where it is. It's fossilized now, but it's still there, and you can go see it. Anyway, meanwhile in Sheol, Yeshua led Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Ishmael, Lot, Edith, Lucre, Reiner, who was that other guy? Chukwu. Yeah, that was the guy. And Hagar and the servants and priests to the gatekeeper of Sheol. "I'm here to speak to Hadamashabi Pendila," he requested. "I made that name up. That is not a real person." "He's on site 293, the gatekeeper directed, and the 410 marched on. At site 293, Yeshua knocked on the door to the synagogue, and the rabbi came out to meet him. Rabbi Hadamushabi Pendila, he addressed, it's time to save Palestine. For that, Pendila advised, you should speak to David Ben-Gurion. That is a real person that time. He's the one responsible for the bombing of me and my family during the Arab-Israeli War of 1948. You'll find him on Site 3000 with all his Zionist followers. And make sure you kick his ass. Thank you. And the 410 marched on to Site 3000. When the guards saw a bunch of priests and Middle Easterns coming over the horizon to meet them, they said, Lord Ben-Gurion, 410 Palestinians are coming toward us over the horizon. What? He exclaimed. Palestinians are beasts, and beasts don't go to Sheol when they die. Give me those binoculars. He took the binoculars from the guard and saw Abraham's family leading the unit toward his camp. It can't be. And that's where we're going to leave off for this chapter. We have finally gotten to the part where we talk about the Israel-Palestine conflict. Now, when I was writing this story a year ago, I didn't expect to have to do that, but in light of the genocide in Gaza, we are going to take this story in that direction. That is going to be one of the tales that we're going to tell in the closet. All right? But that tale is so long that it won't fit in this chapter because of all the drama I shoved in. I just wanted this one to be a fun one where there's drama and there's shouting and cussing and stuff. But next episode, there will be Israel-Palestine conflict, and we're going to take it all the way back to 1948 with the Arab-Israeli War, which is how Israel started invading and gobbling up Palestine in the first place. It goes far back before what's happening now. But that'll be the next chapter. Now, I gotta clean all this up before someone gets home and sees me in this.